I have the great honor and pleasure to have before me Brother Ted Ginn Sr. Brother Ginn is the head coach of Glenville High School. However, in addition to the many hats he wears, he has done a lot in community. And so, Brother Ginn, I just wanted to first and foremost thank you for joining me today. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brother Ginn, if you would, could you kind of give the audience a little bit about who you are or where you from or what your background is with regard to the Cleveland area?
Okay, well, I'm from Glenville High School. I graduated in 1974. I'm Ted Ginn Senior. I'm originally from Louisiana. I was born in Bogalusa, stayed in a little town called Franklin out from New Orleans. Been a country boy. Came to the city and tried to make good. I've been the executive director, founder of the Ginn Academy. Been the head football coach since '97, but I've been coaching there for since '76, 1976. I was I volunteered for 10 years before I became a official coach in '86, and just been trying to grind and do what God tell me to do, and never knew I was gonna be in a position I'm in today. I just thought I was just trying to serve and help some people, and it kind of exploded. You know.
I tell you, that's what God does, right? So with that being said, now I didn't hear you mention. Now, did you play sports? Did you participate in sports early on, or how did that? What position did you play? What you like about sports?
Yeah, well, I played for Glenville. I've been at Glenville ever since 19, all my life.
Okay,
Everything I've done in my life been at Glenville High School.
okay,
I played center,
okay.
and I was the party starter. You understand? That's what I call
Absolutely.
my position. You know, and I played linebacker back in the '70s and graduated in 1974. Just kind of, you know, prior to coming to Cleveland, I was in Louisiana. I played football with milk cartons,
Wow.
because we couldn't afford the football. You know what I'm saying? So we used to play in the playground, and that was my thing. You know what I'm saying? I ran the show. I got the cartons out of the cafeteria, and I put rocks in them because we couldn't afford the football. So that is coming out of the South. You know what I'm saying? So my
Well,
name was Nappy Brown, so I was tough on the field,
I
but
hear
maybe
you.
not for football.
I hear we have so much in common. So I started off as a offense and defensive lineman. I was number 71, offense and defensive lineman. And luckily enough for me, I got a chance to be recruited, and I actually went to college as a quarterback.
Right.
And I kind of found my way since then. So I understand about being the party starter, right? Like I
Nothing can happen from it. There's everything in sports starts in the middle.
absolutely,
You know what
I
I'm
agree
saying?
with that 100%. I used to say that my center should be MVP every game,
That's
right?
right.
Because if he kicked that ball off right, we're good to go from there. I can take it from there.
That's right. You're the
Yes,
man.
sir. So I agree with that first and foremost. Bro, you're on this platform because in addition to you just being someone that has a propensity for sports, from what I hear, brother, you have done an outstanding job in addressing deficiencies in our school systems as well as in our community by starting your own school, which is Ginn Academy. Can you tell me a little bit about Ginn Academy?
Well, Ginn Academy is the first all male public high school in the state of Ohio and the only right today. I started because I wanted to make sure that children reach their full potential of life. We got schools and we just look at kids all the time, and we just got numbers and tests and different things like that. But I wanted to be innovative and different. But it's the same thing I did before I even got Ginn Academy. I had Ginn Academy in the basement of Glenville. You know what I'm saying? So I started with my football team, making them come to school. They report to me. I was the link between the school and the home. And then I had a great principal that would allow me to, I said, I need a group of teachers just to teach them, because you can't teach nobody, from a book. You only can really teach somebody from exposure. So, I was just trying to build a team, um, and make them be eligible for college and different things like that because school has a standard of just graduating people. They don't really prepare you for college. They say all these things, but I always think, and even today, I think that education has to be redefined. It's still we deal with a different client than we did when we came along. So I just had this innovative thing, and it was so good to me. And I got kids eligible for school, eligible for college, and then my own son. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about a system. A system that's not designed for us. I think that people just put us in school and tell you, here, this is what you're gonna learn, this is what you're gonna do, and I didn't go for that, and I was so successful with it. And once I had a few kids being successful, then my son became successful. I went to the CEO. I said, "Hey, I got an idea. I need a Ginn Academy for boys." You know, and he said, "What are you talking about?" The first CEO said, "Yeah, that's what I wanted to do," but they just told me that to get me out of the office. You know what I'm saying? So I said, "Well, I want to go charter." So no, we gonna take care of you. Then they put me out in Lake Erie and never came back. So when the new CEO came in, I went unannounced and I shot the story to him and the philosophy of what I believe in. And he bought it, and then here I am today.
That's awesome. That's a great journey, and it's not too far, Mr. Glenn, brother Glenn. Again, uh, with regard to my story, right? I was a problem child, right? I was a high school dropout. I had
Ooh,
my son when I was 15 years old,
right.
right? So when I had my son when I was 15 years old, I decided that high school wasn't for me. But it was
Mhm,
someone like yourself, it was Amos Bonner,
mhm.
that put a little extra energy and a little time into me. And he's the guy that kind of got me to say, okay, not only are you good enough athletically, but because of you're good athletically and you're pretty sound academically, you deserve an opportunity to go to college. And if it wasn't for that gentleman's impact or drive or motivation to get me into college, you wouldn't be seeing me before you today, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So my hat's off to people like yourselves who are prepared to go beyond and above to make sure that our young people, specifically men, young men, have someone in their corner that believes in them. Because that, in my opinion, brother, again, that's half the battle, right? To get these kids to believe
Absolutely.
in what you're doing, right? And,
Right.
and again, your story seems to just kind of continue on, as in you utilize sports and the
Right.
medium of sports to really drive home your message of togetherness, right? From what I understand, your school, I believe, if you can, help me out with this, is one of the
Mhm.
very first to be competing for a state title in such a short time.
Right. Well, that's it. I got Ginn Academy. So when I set Ginn Academy up, I made sure that I would still be the head coach at Glenville. So, we're in separate buildings, but I run in between both schools, because Glenville is the community. I can't leave the Glenville community to do what Ted Ginn want to do. So I take the whole community. So I'm fighting with the whole community. And it's just, I took sports and I used it as the vehicle, and I've been successful with it. But now in Cleveland, it's never been a team out of the city of Cleveland public schools that ever won a state title in the whole history of Cleveland public schools. We're in a position now to make history, and that's important because it never happened. And it shows that nobody never had that expectation for these kids. They never thought that we could be in this position, but I felt like that for 30 years. I just think we that's when I talk about people reaching their full potential. First of all, you have to have expectation. Even when I was in school back in '74, there's a get a job, go to work, get your credit card, buy your house, and be in debt for the rest of your life. They never had us thinking that we can, own things and have businesses and different things like that. And we never looked at our children like that. That was just a common way of life in education. I don't think like that. And I don't want the kids to think like that. So I got a school to make sure that we can be the greatest. We can
Right.
reach our full potential. We can recognize our genius and realize our self worth in the world.
Right.
And that's what Ginn Academy, that's our creed that we talk about all the time. You know, um, Now they're in a position to bring history, something that's never been done. Nobody can keep kids like ours focused that long. It's a lie. It's a lot
And
of work.
with that being said, what is the glue? I mean, what is the glue? What is it about you and your staff, the way you go about coaching, to have such a great record? What is it that
Well,
keeps these?
first of all, let's use the word love, okay? And we use love, passion, and giving the proper understanding, okay? But you can't do nothing if God not in it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to have a spiritual base. You know, Man, I don't care nothing about no football for real. That's just the vehicle. They bring them in. It's like putting a piece of cheese on a trap to get them. That's all it is, man. You know, and so it's just football. Because when I opened up the school, the first thing they say, "Oh, he just wanted the school just so he can have a football team and win championship." Well, I don't have sports again, guys. Sports is at Glenville. I want to educate you. I want to give you the proper understanding of life, to help you navigate through the world. You understand? And we talk about the behavior of children, behavior of people. You understand? And I sit down and meet with people because my goal is to have an inner city boarding school. So they stay here all week, go home on the weekend, be back at 12 on Sunday night. You understand? Because you can never change your behavior. I hear people talk about, oh, it takes 28 consecutive days. Those say, when I ask you about help me build a boarding school, when I'm ever going to happen 28 consecutive days?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff, man, is really just a table. And I talk to you about a table because that's what's missing in the homes today. Everybody asks me, what is the glue? What is the problem? Well, the problem is, we know what the problem is. Social media is killing us. The telephone, which is the cell phone, is killing us. They exposed to more things we ever seen in our life. But what we're missing is nobody's sitting at home with them. Nobody's sitting at the table. I'm a country boy. You understand? You had to report to that bad boy twice a day, and you couldn't negotiate. That was for breakfast and dinner. But that word they don't use is supper. You understand? So those are the things that's missing in the homes. So your school have to be a table. Your football team had to be a table. Your track team had to be a table. You understand? The frat house got to be a table. You see what I'm saying? Because that's information. You
Yes.
understand? And that's how I live. That's my only reason being here. I'm not caught up in the X's and O's of football.
Right. Again, it just speaks a lot about your character and the willingness for your staff and your kids to buy into what you're trying to achieve there. If you would kind of give me the atmosphere with regard to the kids. How are the kids? How do they feel knowing that they're on the verge of something that had not been done before? How excited are they?
Well, when you start thinking about the clients today, they're so naive. They don't even have the understanding of being afraid or eat. They just think they can win. They're not looking at the picture as history. You understand? They're just so naive that they think it's automatic. And they probably won't understand this till it's done. Till people start pouring into them and tell them, do you know what you really done? You understand? Do you know the importance of it? Many people have lost their life for you to be in this position to stand for and recognize who you are and recognize our community, recognize our race. We're African American people. You understand? It's more to this than just football. So we teach that every day here. We teach that through football. We teach it in the classroom. Every day we talking about our blackness. You understand? Because nobody has that expectation, but they don't really know. they probably won't understand until it's done.
Right. And again, I keep saying this, but I'm familiar with your staff. I heard there are members of the fraternity on your staff. If I'm correct, I think the numbers are up to 8 at this point.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
y'all should have never let me get in this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all blew it with this one. I didn't know all this stuff went on, man. I'm just a young bruh. You understand? Even though I'm 67, I'm a young bruh. You
Hey,
understand?
congratulations, yes, sir.
Oh yeah, and everything that I stand for comes through the fact, man.
Yeah,
And I couldn't believe it. I didn't know none of this. Scholarship, leadership, and service is what I always talked about. I didn't know about perseverance, uplifts, scholarship, manhood. That's me every day. But I didn't know none of this. So y'all came and got me.
yeah.
Yes,
And to your point, we did come get you because Omega has an honorary program which you were a beneficiary of. And what
yes,
we do is we identify men who already have those qualities, men who are already doing the work that Omega does. And you were one that were tapped based on the many years of work that you put in your community, giving service back to your community, and the various things that you have done. And the fraternity is very proud to have you as a member, and we look forward to the many things that you will do in the future in the name of Omega, as well as you and your family. So I agree with that 100%. I'm glad that you're in, and the fact that you have brothers on your staff. I'm sure there's a little hopping going on.
oh, a lot of hopping every Friday. The kids make us do it. They look forward to Friday. you know and that's once again we're teaching, we're guiding, we're teaching them how to be, they so interested into it, and I have, like, I got 8 cues on the staff, but I think they all work here. It's just a great situation, because all they do is fit what we're doing for life. We can teach every day.
Yes,
You can mentor every day. See, I listen to people say, "Well, I'm a mentor." Yo, yeah. What do you do? This is the rich folks. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Well, I got a couple of kids. Me and my wife take them to the movie, buy them some popcorn, and I said, How many times you do that? Probably once a month, twice a month. I said, well, you're not really doing mentoring this every day.
right,
You understand? You just doing it to make yourself feel good. You
right,
understand? That's not gonna get you in heaven though.
right,
You understand? So we have an opportunity to do it every day.
right. And it's so impactful. Look, I am 30 years removed from my high school playing days. But I
Mm-hmm.
tell you right now, I have in my phone, I can reach out to my head football coach,
Absolutely.
my defensive coordinator, my offensive coordinator, my DB coach. I can reach out to them all. Right? I talk to them in my personal life. I reach out to those individuals because they molded me at a time that was critical to my development. And at the time, I didn't know it, right? But they were preparing me for what life had in store for me. And
Absolutely.
man, I have to say they were spot on. For me
Absolutely.
to come out the situation that I came out with, and like you, I have a son, and my son went on. Not only did he join the fraternity, he and I the first father to son to join the Zeta chapter. Is also we both ended up playing at West Virginia University, and my son went on to spend 8 years in the NFL.
Absolutely.
So I'm quite familiar with living a life where the effort that you put in hopes that what you do rubs off onto others. At the same
Absolutely.
time, your son benefits from the work that you're putting in.
Absolutely.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So yes.
I think you're just doing an outstanding job. And again, I wish you all nothing but the best. I am sure the enthusiasm that your team will step on the field with this upcoming during the remainder of the season will be what you expect because I'm sure you wouldn't ask for anything less.
Oh, no doubt. Because it's not for us. It's for the people that's looking at you, people that you represent. And that's the biggest thing of all. We're trying to make history for us, and at the highest level. That's what education is. That's what teaching is. That's what raising people are. You know, We just got to continue to work, because they're God's children, and if your heart not in it, you shouldn't be in it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Coach Ginn, we need more coaches like yourself. And again, I applaud you, and the fact that the brothers saw you worthy enough to garner this interview says a lot about you, and how much they believe in you and trust you with their kids, right? In addition to their kids, the next group of kids that may be coming up your way. Again, brother, I just want to thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your leadership. Looking for an opportunity to personally meet you myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I would enjoy that. I like to see you.
All righty. You
All
have a
right.
good evening, my brother.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Real.